Why would a 12 or 13 or 15-year-old girl send a nude to another 12, 13 or 15-year-old boy?
Because they're growing up with role models who post on OnlyFans. They're growing up being told that you don't actually need an education. You can make $50,000 a month if you just post the right pictures online. So when you are told that and you are bored to death in a maths class and you're being told to learn about parameters of a rectangle that you don't care about, or you can see a really sexy girl talk about how much money she's making, where is a child going to go? Particularly when they're not raised in a home or environment which boosts their self-esteem and emphasizes internal morals. So why are our children going to go? It's not their fault at all. It's the society we've created and what we've glamorized and highlighted for children.
That's interesting because Martha, my girlfriend, she'll say that her dad did a really great job when she was, 10, 11, 12, 13, when boys started to show attention, right?
Yeah.
He did a really great job. I'm paraphrasing what she told me, that he used to say, listen, guys are going to tell you you're beautiful. You already know that.
Yeah.
So don't be wowed when they say you're beautiful, you're pretty, you look attractive. Like, know that you have other values to contribute. And if they don't see those other things, then okay, just they're friends, but don't buy into that type of game.
Well, don't let that be the most interesting thing about
Exactly.
you. And what I find a little bit strange about being online is I'll get a lot of comments about my makeup and my appearance or whatever it is, which is very, very nice. But I didn't understand why that would even be part of the conversation. And I would imagine it's because they assume that if you have a certain appearance, why would you even bother working on your education? Because they almost see it as binary. If you've got one, you don't need the other. Well, you absolutely need the other. You absolutely, because it's the only thing that will exist forever. Your looks is the only depreciating asset you have.
Wow.
So why would you want to derive your value from it and your self-esteem from it? We know it's depreciating.
Because what happens when the looks start to fade in women who've only put their value in their physical appearance? What happens?
Well, what happens is they end up with men who are equally shallow. Here's the thing, if I'm just a pretty face, I'm going to end up with a man who only likes pretty faces. Now, the reality is that man is so easily distracted with the next pretty face and the next 25-year-old and the next. So what will happen is you're in a constant competition with people you can't compete with for the rest of your life. And similarly, if I was somebody who just sold sex and I'm going to find a man who's addicted to sex. And men that are addicted to sex will always want novelty. You'll never be enough. So reality is when you create your identity on something so fragile, you attract somebody who's also very fragile, and then you end up in a lonely cycle, unfortunately. Yeah. Whereas when you develop something deep, you attract someone deeper and your connection tends to be more long-lasting, God willing. It tends to be more long-lasting.
Right. I think I heard you share recently online something about like financial connection and emotional connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, I think what's happening, unfortunately, men are being indoctrinated into thinking that as long as you provide financially, you can get the hottest girl in the world, and as a result, you're a high value man and you've made it. But essentially, when you lead with finances, you attract a woman who's emotionally detached, because emotionally present women, finances does not compensate for lack of quality time. No matter how rich a man is, she wants quality time. Whereas emotionally detached women, they don't care if you're gone for 6 months on a business trip, as long as they've got a bag and a house and a Rolls Royce and whatever it is. So when you're that man, you're going to attract that woman. So you think, I'm providing her with everything, she's not going to go anywhere. She's thinking, you provided me with everything, now I can go somewhere.
Wow.
So you're actually, you've lured yourself into a false sense of security. A lot of really successful men will look at a woman and think, I've given her everything, she's not going to go anywhere. Because she's got external kind of extrinsic value, she's thinking, I've now got everything from this guy, where do I go next? So
what more can I get?
What more can I get?
From somewhere else.
From somewhere else.
Holy
and
cow.
So unfortunately...
Why is there not loyalty when a financially, a stable man is able to provide finances to their partner? Why is that loyalty not there?
Because the glue of the relationship is broken.
Superficial.
Yeah, it's superficial. The glue they used was superficial. The glue he's relying on is physical attraction, and the glue she's relying is financial stability. The glue is weak. Whereas if the glue was emotional intimacy, absolutely you can get loyalty. You can't beat emotional intimacy when it comes to loyalty. once you have emotional intimacy, it's very difficult for somebody to be your competition, because they know you in a way that nobody else can, and you can be vulnerable in a way nobody else can. But when you deprive your relationship of emotional intimacy, every single person is your competition. And this is something these people with junk values don't realize.
Wow.
Unfortunately. But did you find that hard? Like, I mean, being so financially successful, did you find it would attract the wrong kind of women?
Yeah, I've always been in relationships.
Yeah.
And so, I wasn't like single for 3 years and was like just attracting everyone. I was I loved intimacy. So I was more like diving into a commitment as quickly as if I found someone, like I felt like, okay, maybe there's something here. But it just seems like with the content I see online and what I'm hearing from stories from people in the dating world and who've gone through divorce and breakups, like it is a struggle out there. It's what I'm hearing. And I don't know if that's just certain cities in America, or if that's globally, or if it's different in other countries.
Is it like that in LA? It's very much like that in cities.
I think it's extreme in LA, obviously.
Extreme, yeah. And unfortunately, because I come from Dubai and I live in London and stuff like that, I focus on the extremities. I know in simple villages this doesn't happen. Right. But unfortunately, I'm not privy to that. They tend to be healthy and they don't even watch my content. They're happy and they got their kids and they walk their dogs. The people that watch it are the ones that are struggling, and they're usually similar kind of issues. There's only 3 or 4 issues that all my clients will have.
What is that?
Infidelity, men in very much infidelity on part of the woman.
Women cheat more than men?
Far more.
Come on.
Far more.
Come on.
Far from.
Why do you think women cheat more than men?
Because they're in denial about the infidelity. When they cheat, they don't even label it as that. If a woman starts cheating,
what do they label it as?
They label it as my husband's no longer satisfying me. They won't even say I'm cheating. They'll say my husband isn't satisfied. They find a way to redirect and shift the terminology so that they are void of guilt.
Really?
Absolutely.
So how do we know women are cheating more than men? What is it like? Is this public knowledge? Is there surveys? Or are you just hearing this from the people you're coaching?
The people I'm coaching, because firstly, you'll know, it's simple signs that you'll know. Firstly, when the guy, I always say infidelity is a result of men not being masculine and women not being feminine. And what I mean by this is if a woman is cheating, it's because she has a man that accepts unacceptable because he is unwilling to walk away when his boundaries are broken. So what will happen is when women meet that man, with a good woman with good morals, and she doesn't want that man. She's like, I don't want to weaken.
She'll leave.
She'll leave. She'll replace him with somebody who has boundaries that suit her morals. But a woman,
she won't cheat because she'll have the values of like, this isn't working. It's sad.
No, I don't want
but
somebody.
But I'm not going to cheat
week.
While I'm with you.
No desire to cheat. She's not a sexual being. So she's looking for somebody who can lead a household. But the woman who's planning to come home late all the time and planning to go on a bunch of holidays and planning to keep in touch with her ex and planning to post a bunch of provocative pictures online, he's perfect. He's perfect, because he'll maybe pay for everything. He'll maybe sort the house out, maybe give her the kids. He's perfect. So that agreeable.
And she can keep getting the validation from all these other men in
whoever
certain ways.
She wants. And he'll say, oh, babe, I don't really like that bikini picture. And she'll say, stop oppressing me. And that will be the end of the conversation. And she'll carry on doing what she wants. And he'll say, oh, you're going to come home today? I'll come home when I want. And that's what he'll say, okay. And because she recognizes he doesn't have the willingness to walk away, when the man isn't masculine, his days are numbered. His days of good women filter themselves off away from men that are too agreeable. Now, when women get cheated on, again, it's a lack of femininity. And what I mean by that is, honestly, what I've noticed with married men that cheat, it's not that they love somebody else so much or they found someone more beautiful. They simply have a wife that is no longer catering to their needs in any way, shape, or form. So,
what type of needs? Their sexual needs, their intimacy needs, their supportive needs?
All kinds of needs. So what I mean by that, it could be as simple as there's a coffee ready because you're going to work. Or it could be as deep as, I haven't slept with you in 6 months. It's his needs no longer matter. And it's really difficult. I understand when you have kids and stuff like that, it becomes difficult.
Is it when he feels his needs don't matter, or he's communicating what he wants and she's not willing to provide that?
He's saying it.
He's saying it and she's just like, I don't have time for this, or she's busy or whatever.
He's often saying it, but she's also not predicting his needs. And that's part of femininity. Part of femininity is, I know he's coming home, let me just warm up a bit of food. Or I know that he's got work at an early start, let me just iron that shirt quickly because he's going to make a mess if he does it. You know, it's part of femininity.
What would the feminist movement say to that? I'm just curious.
They would argue that he's not a baby. That's what they would say. Men are not babies. But here's the reality. They are. In a lot of ways, they are. In a lot of ways, they really are.
I can be a baby sometimes, but
you know what it is? It's something about, I don't understand this myself, but there's